You're watching Underdog Gaming. Here at the beginner's guide for Darkseid. Darkseid is a powerful character with good keep away and a good rushdown as well. To start things off, let's discuss his special moves. Omega Beams does good damage and knocks the opponent down. With that being said, it is a high attack, so the opponent can duck under it. It's also very unsafe on block, so don't ever do it up close. The enhanced version does more damage and launches the opponent. With a minion active, this can lead to a short combo. You can also control which way the meter burn version goes. If you hold up, it'll go into the air. And holding down will make it hit low. Keep in mind that both versions can also be done in the air, and the meter burn version covers the entire screen. Low Omega Beams don't travel as far, but do hit low for a good mix-up. Do this after an overhead, and it'll be very tricky for your opponent to block. However, just like the regular Omega Beams, this attack is very unsafe on block, so if your opponent does block it, you're in a lot of trouble. Upward Omega Beams can be a good anti-air, but it has very slow startup, so you have to predict the opponent's jump in. You can't do it on reaction. The meter burn version covers nearly all of the screen and is very difficult for your opponent to deal with, so if you have a bar to spin and your opponent's low on health, this can be a very good way to end the match. Palm Blast does good damage and knocks the enemy away, allowing you to do more keep away. It's also a great way to end most combos, as long as they're not too long. But like all of Darkseid's other special moves, it's very unsafe on block, so be careful when doing it up close. Flying Knee does good damage and is a great way to end certain combos. It's also an incredible way to extend combos in the corner with the help of a minion. It's also a good wake-up attack as well, just keep in mind it's unsafe on block. However, you can always meter burn the attack if the opponent blocks it, and then it becomes +2, which means not only is it safe on block, but you actually have the advantage now. If you hit the opponent, the meter burn version does more damage and knocks the opponent full screen. This can be good for keep away, however I don't think it's worth the meter most of the time. Doom Stomp hits low and does very good damage. Combine this with a jump in attack and it can be very tricky for your opponent to block, since it goes overhead then low right away. The meter burn version does less damage, but launches the opponent to extend combos. This can lead to big damage both mid-screen and in the corner. Now I know I'm a broken record at this point, but this move is also unsafe on block, so be careful when using it. While it's a great mix-up, if your opponent blocks it, they can hit you with a full combo. Boom Tube is a fast teleport that allows you to close in on your opponent. This can be a great way to avoid projectiles or just go for a mix-up. Personally, I enjoy throwing the opponent afterwards, since they're often trying to block a mix-up and don't expect an unblockable. This attack can also be done in the air, making it a very deadly mix-up for your opponent. Especially when combined with Doom Stomp, because not only do they have to switch directions, but they also have to block an overhead into a low immediately. It's honestly really tough to block. Combine this with minions and you have very difficult situations to block. That's it for his special moves, so let's move on to his best attack strings. The Great Darkness does good damage, and is a great way to end combos as well. It's also +3 on block, so the opponent can't punish you if they block it. With that being said, it's also a high attack, so they could duck under it. Eternal Desolation does good damage, and switches sides with the opponent. Rising Apocalypse does good damage, and has an overhead midway through, so it's good for punishing crouching opponents. Crush Resistance hits overhead to mix up the opponent, and is +2 on block as well, so it's an all-around great attack string. Euxis also hits overhead and puts good space between you and the opponent. When meter burned, this attack string leads to a ton of damage. This attack string is honestly better for extending combos than it is for starting them, especially in the corner. Look at some of the crazy damage this attack string can do. Bringing Death ends in an overhead, and leads to a hard knockdown, allowing you to summon a Parademon or go for a mix-up. Feel My Wrath does great damage, and is one of my favorite ways to end combos most of the time. New Gods does good damage, and launches the opponent to start off combos. It's also safe on block as well, making it very useful. Darkseid's character trait allows him to summon 3 different kinds of Parademons. By default, he summons a flying Parademon. Pressing circle will have it fire a projectile. This can be an incredible way to extend combos in the corner. Pressing forward in circle will send the demon flying at the opponent for good damage. It also knocks them away as well, allowing you to play more keep away. Pressing forward in circle will summon a demon that detonates after a short period of time, or you can detonate it manually by pressing circle again. This parademon doesn't do much damage, but is good for saving you if you do something unsafe by mistake. Holding back in circle will summon a charging parademon. Pressing circle again will have him attack from overhead. This can create very tough to block situations, especially after a low attack. Pressing forward in circle will have him tackle the opponent. This doesn't do much damage, but does keep your opponent from attacking you. It also creates insane block pressure in the corner, and allows you to keep attacking afterwards. Keep in mind that if Darkseid gets hit at any time, these demons go away. So while they are great for mix-ups, they can also go away in the blink of an eye, so be careful. Darkseid Super has armor, and does decent damage as well. However, it's very slow on startup, so it's very tough to combo into. Not to mention it does very little damage when added to a combo, so it's honestly never worth the meter in my opinion, unless it kills the opponent. Now with that being said, I do find it very fun that you can actually control where the Omega Beams go with your analog stick or with the D-pad. That's hilariously fun to do, but not very useful in an actual match. Alright dogs, let's put it all together for some basic bread and butter combos. The button translations are in the video description below. If you enjoyed this guide and found it helpful, please leave a like down below. And while you're down there, go ahead and post a comment too. Tell me what you think. If you want to support the channel and look good while doing it, please check out my t-shirts. If you want to support the channel more directly, please stop on by my Patreon. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, because we have content on this channel every single week. It's never a dull moment on Underdog Gaming. So make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.
Darkseid wins.